Have you ever wondered why everyone hates Twine peaks because of this amp? Have you ever wondered why I haven't rebuilt Ridge Amplifier like the rest of the amplifiers in Twine peaks? Like I always say, soon. Is there a way to control it? Well, a lot of questions here, and the best way to answer them is a showcase with Wave 26, the hardest random wave in the whole Endurance. Plus, it has a lot of water smashers, and they are very strong. And by the way, I added the bass here just for testing for another video. I will remove it later, don't worry. I almost never get Wave 26 on Ridge Amp. I waited so long for it to be able to make this video. Note that all what I will mention are based on personal experiences in the game. So, if I'm wrong or missed something, please let me know in the comments. This is not a build or edits video. It's one of the videos when I go in depth about something, explaining everything I know. Someone mentioned that I should add all these videos in a playlist and call it When Save the World Gets Boring. Well, for me it's not boring to learn something new about the game. So, what is going on here with this amplifier? And why it is that bad? For so long, it was impossible to build it normally like the other amplifiers, with a straight path to the amp, because of the terrain around it. We had to route them to another way using a lot of block-offs. But recently, they update the terrain, and we are now able to build normally like Battle Royale. Like inside or near ramps, edges, etc. So, it's okay now and we can build it normally, right? Well, yes and no. I already tested several builds after the terrain update, and still, everything is the same as before. Let me explain. Yes, we can build it normally with a much cheaper tunnel without a lot of block-offs. And no, because of Wave 22 bug, when smashers don't recognize the amp at all. So, once they reach half of the tunnel, they will start charging, ruining the whole build. I will explain this bug more in a moment. A lot of ways to control them, of course. I already mentioned them in the last update video for Ridge Amplifier. So, we need to route the husk to another far path to avoid smashers charges. And we need it longer than usual, to eliminate the husk and smashers easily. Or route them near an open area to be able to recycle them. But wait, that's not a problem, we can do that easily with block-offs. And you are right, there are a ton of paths we can use specially after the terrain update. And the best one is the recycle path I showed before. Works very well, even with Wave 26. So, what is the issue here? As I mentioned, it's Wave 22 bug. When smashers and propanes don't recognize the amp at all, so, we can't loop and control them with loop bridges as usual. As you know, smashers and mini-bosses target the upper part of the amp, not the lower one like the normal husk. Which we take advantage of, by using loop bridges. To give them a way up, and before they reach the upper part of the amp, we push them down. Because without it, endurance will be a bit harder. Some people call it a bug, some not. But from what I see it, I think that's how it works. Anyway. So, when they reach near the amp, like half the tunnel, and they don't recognize it, they will start charging everywhere till they destroy every single wall. Oh yeah, smashers don't like walls. Like if you remember when the game showed us smashers first time. It literally said it. No wall is safe. And when I say recognize the amp, what I mean is, when you observe any amplifier during any wave with smashers, you will see that when they get near the amplifier, they will instantly charge on it till they hit it. Then here comes the role of loop bridges. To be able to loop them over and over till the wave ends. This bug only happens if any smashers spawn during Wave 22, by the way. Sometimes they do, sometimes not. It's random, as we all know. Like as you see in this clip, it's Wave 26, way harder than Wave 22, and smashers are not an issue at all. Even without the bass, as you will see in this video, still, Wave 26 is not a problem at all for this amp, and you will see that smashers will reach the amp without causing a single issue. Some people have this bug and some not. As we all know, every bass is a bit different than the other when it comes to Twine peaks. Plus, it's not guaranteed that smashers will spawn every endurance run. But when they do, even one smasher only, can cause a massive issue. So here comes an idea. Why we don't use what we call amp designs or dancers. When you build some walls around the amplifier in a certain way, which will drag the smashers to the amp. Well, it used to work well, but the thing is, these amp designs or dancers are not stable or guaranteed every time. First, you need to make it work to loop mini-bosses, so they don't destroy it. And I don't think that that is possible with Ridge Amplifier. Secondly, and the most important, you need to manage to recycle or eliminate the smashers before they reach the amp. Because if they did reach it, they will destroy the whole design or dancers in less than a minute. So, why not just use a recycled build without any damage traps? Because if no husk got eliminated, no smashers will spawn. And like that we even can use loop bridges, which I see better to control the mini-bosses. Plus, no smashers to worry about during wave 22 or any other wave. Well, the idea is smart, but the thing is, you can't guarantee that. Let me explain. Let's say we did that, a recycle build without any damage. Still, a lot of husk will get eliminated, by a lot of things. 1. The big meteor. We all know that every amp has at least one spawns near the spawn every minute, I think. And it can easily eliminate a lot of husks, even it can eliminate level 400 plus smashers and mini-bosses. 2. Lobbers, zappers, small husk, pitchers, plasters, all these husks will try to reach you at some point. So, they can easily get eliminated in other amplifiers' tunnel, or they may try hilt some of the block-offs and they will get eliminated by the wall spikes on the block-offs. 3. The game changes a lot every update. For example, the meta for 160 mission was to do the same thing. Not to eliminate any husk, so smashers won't spawn. We used to add sound wall traps to keep the husk dancing over and over without eliminating them. So, the game added an update that changed that. When the husk will just spawn after a certain time and another will spawn. Which is okay by the way, because this method made 160 missions so easy. Like we used to build our loadouts, getting better weapons and traps, farm ton of material to craft them, building, a lot of things to be able to pass 160 missions. But with this way I just mentioned, you literally didn't need to do most of these things I just mentioned. One constructor, some walls and sound wall traps, and you are good to go. But that's not how we supposed to play the game. So, it's reasonable that they nerfed it. I'm not sure if that thing applies exactly to Endurance or not, all of these are from my tests over and over, we don't have a solid source for these little details. But you get the point now. Whatever you do, still, there is a chance for a smasher to spawn. And don't get me wrong, recycle builds are the best. I always try to use one if I can. Because they don't require high traps damage and durability like the damage builds do. I already built and tested several builds for Ridge Amplifier. And all went well, even with wave 26. Till a smasher bug during wave 22, and start ruining everything. And you can't do anything about it, since it's a recycle build. That's why I don't like to use a recycle build without knowing for sure that it works well with smashers. And that's why you see me eliminating some husk to force spawn smashers in every gameplay video I make. To make sure of everything. So, I used a damage build for Ridge Amplifier instead of a recycle one, at least for now. Because damage builds can eliminate the smashers. But with recycle builds, if you didn't manage to push the smasher down away from the build, and it went near the amp, it will start charging. And to do that, you need high impact traps that can push the smashers, like wall lights or wall launcher traps. But they will have low durability, since you will use a lot of impact and reload perks instead of durability. So, we can't use them at the entrance of the tunnel. Because they will run out of durability fast. This amplifier can get 4 waves before wave, which is normal. And that will ruin our high impact traps durability. So, we need to add them at the end of the tunnel. Which makes sense for any recycle build. But still, they are wall traps. And if you remember, smashers hate walls. So, it's a higher chance for smashers to charge and cause issues. And they will. So, how we can recycle them? Because we can't do that with floor traps. Yes, maybe the freeze trap, but it's not guaranteed. I'm still testing for this amp over and over, don't worry. Trying to get the best damage or recycle build possible for it. But not like before, to be honest. Because this wave 22 thing is so annoying. Like if I spent all this testing time for this amp and building other base from scratch like Canny Valley, I would finish it even more. This bug been in the game for years now. And I don't think they will fix it after all this time. Because lately, it started to happen to other amplifiers. Like Hill during waves 11 and 19. And Ramp during wave 23. But all of them was easy to fix with just few edits. All the amplifiers are manageable with some edits. But it's a bit harder when it comes to Ridge Amplifier. So that's it? Of course not. There's a simple thing you can do that will make you forget all what I just said. And it's using a constructor loadout with the supercharged traps teen perk. A lot of people underestimate this perk. But it's very good. Like as you see here. I'm using my base and smashers can't even pass half of the tunnel. And even if they did, the loadout will help a lot to control them and minimize the damage they may cause as much as possible. I will make another video to explain a lot of tricks that will help you as lot in your endurance. Like how to not to worry about the big meteor anymore, what to do if your traps damage and durability are low, and more. And let me know in the comments, would you like to see a rebuild video for Ridge Amplifier or not? The same exact build, but with all the edits and updates in one video. The current build video is old with a lot of updates. Someone asked me to, so, if a lot of you needed it, I will work on it. A lot of talking I know, but I always love to tell you everything I know. It's all from my observation of the gameplay. That's all we got, at least for now. As I always say, we don't have that much in-depth details about Save the World. Hopefully, we can get some new content and updates soon. We all saw the new terrain update. Very useful, and it will change a lot about the game. I tested a lot after the update. But I noticed some bugs and glitches with builds inside terrains, but that's normal. This is a huge update to Save the World. And can almost change every building and trapping meta we used to have. I don't want to rush any update or new builds for Endurance till I'm sure of everything. So, stay tuned. And that's it for this video. Don't forget to use code Larsis in the item shop, helps me a lot. Big thanks to channel members and everyone using my creator code, really appreciate your support. And if you found this video helpful, consider giving it a like and subscribe, helps the channel a lot to reach more people. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, see you in the next one.